This is Carl Leone. He's an esports coach at Oakland University, and he joins us via Zoom. Carl, good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on.
So, first of all, how you doing? Where are you at? We do this with everyone when they check in first time of the show. How's everything going? You're obviously at home. Tell us what's going on where you are.
Right. So everything's going fine. Family's in great health, and right now that's pretty important to me. I was in the middle of a process of actually moving back to the east side of Michigan. So right now I'm in Grand Rapids, and whenever the quarantine ends, that's when I'll move. But thankfully I can work from home and everything's fine.
You look like you're right here in Oakland County. The signal's great, and well, thanks for sharing that with us. So first of all, what are esports?
Okay, so esports is competitive video gaming, and it has that E in there because it's electronic sports. So it's just competitive video gaming. It's incredibly popular, especially in the last 7 years. It's just really blown up exponentially, and thankfully I've been blessed to be a part of it.
You know, we should have planned this better, Tyler. We probably could have got some esports on the screen here today to show. But, Carl, so I get it. So you are engaging in some online gaming or activities, and you're competing with other people wherever they are. So you can sit there right in your home in Grand Rapids right now, and you can compete with other people, right?
Absolutely, yes. And that's the nice part about it, and maybe some kind of positive light that can be thrown out right now is that despite all of the problems that we're having, esports pushes on because all of the competitions can be held online. Normally the professional scene is in arenas with, packed full of fans, but they can at least continue the season where a lot of sports, you're seeing them just dead. There's nothing to do. So it is kind of nice that we're able to compete online. And the part that I like to say to people who maybe aren't so familiar with esports is that it is a team. Most of them are team games. So it's, 5 people against 5 other people. And so that's where it really ties into traditional sports, because you just have to respect that level of skill once you get up to that top 1% of anything.
All right.
An amazing chess player, you really respect them. An amazing NASCAR driver, you respect them. Amazing football player, you respect them. Same thing here with esports, and it's becoming more mainstream. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, I got to put everything in context. For me, when I think of, gaming and sports, I think of the football players on that thing with the magnet. And the magnet guys, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I do. I do. That's how they got the animation for the old sports games. I remember that.
Yeah, so, it's really old school. But so what games, what activities, and I love the fact you mentioned team. I didn't even think of that. What kind of sports are you engaged in? What are the top games?
So for Oakland University right now, we'll be having Rocket League, League of Legends, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Those are the 3 games we'll be competing in our first inaugural year here in the fall.
So could you tell me a little bit about those for the uninformed?
Sure, absolutely. So I'll start with Rocket League because it's the easiest one. Excuse me. Rocket League is basically soccer, but pushed by rocket-powered cars. So it's literally on a soccer field, and there's a giant ball, and you just push it with a rocket-powered car. And it's 3-on-3, play the game online. That's a really fun one if you want to check out esports and see what it's all about. Rocket League is absolutely what I would recommend because it's so easy to watch. Even if you don't know the game, you can just pick it up and watch, and it's very fun.
And is the scoring and all the rules, is it similar to soccer? Or does it have its own set of rules and scoring and...
So the scoring is the same, ball in the net's 1. Typically it scores a bit more than traditional soccer, so maybe it's a bit more exciting in that way. But there are some changes. For example, there's no out of bounds because it's literally caged in, so the ball can bounce off the walls of the ceiling and things like that. So it can get pretty crazy, pretty entertaining, and it's definitely a fun esport for those who, like I said, who maybe aren't so familiar with gaming.
Carl Leone is the esports coach at Oakland University, joining us today via Zoom from his home in Grand Rapids. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe. This is the Megacast, and we thank you for tuning in. Carl, do any of these esports, do they have, I don't know the proper term, but do they have some kind of a physical interface where you actually get up and you like swing a racket or you kick something, or is it all, mouse and yoke or mouse and joystick?
We're moving towards that. So you're basically predicting the future. So there's a thing out there, virtual reality, where you kind of put on the headset and you're in the game and your movements kind of dictate what you do in the game. The technology isn't at the point yet where we can really have full-blown esports competitions, but that's where it's going. So I would anticipate in 10 years, you could have a full-blown football match where it's, 5-10 people on this side, 5-10 people on this side, and they all have virtual reality headsets on competing against each other in the game, which sounds a bit boring, but it'd be pretty exciting once they actually put in all of the graphics and everything. I'd be really excited to see what that would look like.
Carl, is there a spectator component to this? Is it fun to watch teams compete?
Yes. So I'll give you some statistics off the top of my head. The most popular esports game in the world is League of Legends. It's one of the games that we'll have at Oakland University. And the World Championship for League of Legends, so you can think of it like Worlds for Soccer, it's the same thing, or the World Cup, excuse me. They consistently beat baseball and basketball finals combined, the viewership numbers. So they do have an advantage because it's worldwide and not mostly just in North America, but they consistently beat the finals numbers for basketball and baseball combined.
So is ESPN missing out on all this? There's been no sports. I mean, or are they broadcasting esports on TV and I've just not seen it?
They do, yeah. So League of Legends, that same game, their spring finals, the entire playoff series was just on ESPN. They had a partnership, and so they put it on ESPN2, I believe. It was broadcast the whole thing, so it was very cool to see that. It was the first time that game specifically was on ESPN, but ESPN is full-blown bought into it at this point. They have an entire media outlet that's ESPN Esports.
I was gonna make my dodgeball reference and ask if it was on ESPN8, the Ocho.
The Ocho, that's right.
But okay, that's cool. So unfortunately, we got to get back to the serious business of the show. But before we go, I appreciate you joining us, Carl. So how's this going to work? You've got this program at Oakland University. I assume I should know what league you're in, but is this going to be something you'll be competing with other universities in your league?
We will. So Oakland University is part of the Horizon League. The Horizon League does not have any kind of esports conference. So we'll be creating our own, we'll be finding our own conferences to compete in. And then each of these games, the developer who makes the game hosts their own national collegiate tournament every year. So we'll be competing in that as well.
All right, but there'll be regional tournaments and University A versus University B like we'd see in football or basketball or any other sport, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Listen, I want to let you know, Tyler and I can call a heck of a football game, okay? We don't only do this show, so if you're looking for a broadcast crew, I'm not sure we're going to be able to do high school football this year. We'll have to wait and see, Tyler. What do you think?
It's not looking good, but esports will be there.
All right,
Esports.
so just we'll put our application in with you, Carl. Can we do this at the high school level too? Would you like to see that?
There is high school esports leagues out there. The nice part about it is there's a lot of room to grow to bring a little bit more infrastructure to it. Right now, it's more of just clubs, and there's kind of a volunteer there to help. But we have seen some. One that I could just name off the top of my head would be West Catholic High School. It's over here on the west side of Michigan. They have a full-blown esports program and a legitimate, I think, 15 computer lab in their school. They compete every night, so that's pretty cool.
Do you need to be near your other teammates in the same room, or can you compete without being in the same physical space?
It's not necessary. You don't have to, but the nice part about it is, especially at the collegiate level and the professional level, it builds a bit of camaraderie camaraderie and communication and some of those leadership skills where if you're not next to each other, it's a little bit more difficult to build up those relationships. So I prefer to have players competing next to each other, but it is a nice ability to have to not have to be next to each other, especially in quarantine situations.
All right, Tyler, can we put together our own team? Yeah, we need 5. We got tons of people on our staff.
Sure.
They've got the right kind of people. Would we start with Rocket League or League of Legends, or where do you suggest we start, Carl?
Rocket League for sure.
All
It'll be the easiest to digest. Go watch a Rocket League game. You'll pick it up really quick.
Is there any big investment? We just need the 5 people and 5 computers, right? Is there anything more? You got to buy software or anything?
A team, no, it's very easy. You have to buy the game. So Rocket League is maybe $10 or $20. It depends. So it's very inexpensive to get into and play these esports titles, and that's kind of the draw to it.
Dude, you got 5 people. Maybe we want to challenge you right out of the box. What do you think? You got some guys you put a team together. We'll put a team together. We'll meet you at high noon in downtown Lansing, right in between Grand Rapids and here. What do you think? Are you up for that?
That sounds great. Let's do that.
All right, Tyler. Am I getting us some big trouble?
Oh, probably. Probably.
Carl, this is really cool. Thank you very much. I mean, it's a perfect thing for people to get involved in right now. We're at home, and no matter what happens, we're going to start to come out. It's summertime. We want people to get out and enjoy the summer. But no matter what happens, we're going to be in a situation where it's going to be tough to get a bunch of spectators in an arena. So this might just be part of the answer.
Absolutely. I think it's a good opportunity to shine some light on kind of a dark time.
All right, go Grizzlies! Thank you very much. I appreciate you joining us. We'll keep in touch, Carl. All right, Thank you. Carl Leone doing a great job joining us today here on the Megacast. He is the esports coach at Oakland University.